Hello there, and welcome to Master Paul's Game Room, where gaming is for everyone. I am Master Paul, and of course, joined as always by Epic John and the Nerdporial Lifeform. And I know what you guys are thinking: why are we doing this stream here instead of on the main channel? Well, because basically, I decided to take it easy tonight and just talk some Mario. And who better to talk about it with than my brother, who's probably more obsessed about Mario than I am, and the Nerdporial Lifeform, who is also a massive Nintendo fan. So, how are you guys doing tonight?
Good. But you have one thing wrong.
What?
We are perfectly balanced, as all things should be.
Of course we are. And how are you doing tonight, Nerdporial?
Doing great. I mean, I just came off a Trekporial stream with Lord Crit, and it went pretty well. So
Nice.
I'm ready to talk more. I'm ready to talk about something different than Star Trek and Lord of the Rings for a change. By the way, we got done. We got through Fellowship. It was 5 hours long, but we got to the end of Fellowship.
Awesome. What did they finally get the whales aboard the Enterprise?
Come on, man. This is Tolkien. Tolkien doesn't want freaking
I know.
transporters and technology. I mean, it's going to be used to pervert our culture. I mean, that's technology causes wars, or technology, everything gets weaponized. I mean, that's why World Wars 1 and 2 happened. Jeez. I mean,
Fair
we want to
enough.
smoke. We want to smoke rings. We want to watch things grow and eat second breakfast and elevensies and all that stuff. That's the Tolkien way,
Yes, it is.
and that means comfort.
And in all seriousness, it was absolutely it was a great time talking that movie with you, and of course the other people that you had on the channel. Those are all great guys. And you know what? We may be just doing that sometime soon here on, well, not here on this channel, but on the main channel, the Star Wars guys. And we actually have it set up. I'm going to go ahead and announce this now. When it comes time to do that, you are going to get all four of of basically me and my three siblings. All of us are going to be joining in on that one.
Oh, you have another sibling? I thought it was just you,
Nope.
Michael, and John.
Michael has a twin sister.
Oh, okay.
I'm actually gonna go spend the day with her tomorrow.
Yeah, she's currently in college right now.
Okay.
So real quick, let's see who is in the chat here. Mr. Alan Copeland is here. And of course, Phil, hashtag justice for Star Trek 5.
Excuse me, I'd just like to ask a question. What does God need with a starship? I said, what does God need with a starship?
Jim, what are you doing? I'm asking you a question.
Yep. I went back and improved some of the clips that I've downloaded because those were all very spur of the moments. But yeah, that was one of them that I went back and re-edited so the audio is better. And of course, the hashtag justice for Star Trek 5 shirt. Make sure to check it out. And also, Phil McCracken says hashtag Skyrim is for the Imperials. You are correct.
Yeah.
Unless the vampires take over. I mean,
Did I
what?
tell you? I use music from Skyrim for my Winds of Winter video? Because I was afraid Game of Thrones music would be copyrighted. So
You didn't
Movie
say that.
soundtracks are good, though.
yeah, I tried using the Hobbit theme for the for the opening of my first Fellowship stream, and that got right away. That got copyrighted.
Oh, fun. Well, tonight we shouldn't be worrying about that. But then again, it is Nintendo. They like to strike things down.
I've never had any issues with anything Nintendo. Like, I've never had any issues with any of the retrospectives I've done, the clips I've used, even the music. So, I mean, yeah, I haven't had any problems with them yet.
Yeah. And Phil, I know I didn't take a look yet at what you sent me in the DMs on Twitter. On Discord rather. I promise I will look at it. I've just been doing a lot of running around today. So anyways, let's get into our discussion, and we are going to do something of a retrospective on the Super Mario series. And just as a for context, this is sort of like a practice round, we could almost say, Nerdporial, for what we're going to be getting up to a week from tomorrow, because we're going to be gathering here again for another retrospective with some other cool people like Stone Loki and Purple Valkyrie, and we're going to be talking Elder Scrolls V Skyrim. So that's coming a week from tomorrow, but for now we're going to be talking about Mario. So let's just go ahead and get into basically how were you introduced to Mario? And Nerdporo, you can start with this one.
Okay, I was in the '80s. I was born in '84, so I was a real youngster in the '80s. So, I think it was '89 was really when they were really pushing the NES out into the market, and I noticed it going to the store with my mother when I think I was in preschool at the time. I noticed it like a Radio Shack. I saw the commercials. I was like, can we get that? Can we get that? And I remember my mom saying, no, we're not going to get that. It's too expensive. So it was funny. It was the following Christmas. I unwrapped it's like probably the earliest Christmas I remember. At least I remember getting, remember what I'm getting, and I unwrap it and I see the Nintendo, and I was like, oh, this is it. I remembered that it was the same thing that I saw at the store like probably months earlier or something, and I still had no idea what it was, and I see my dad hooking it up, and he turns on the game. He turns on like the game, and I see it's Mario and it's Duck Hunt. So I'm 5, and I'm in preschool, and I was in special ed, so I had a hard time picking up on things. I didn't talk much as a kid, and I had really hard time paying attention. So I was yelled at quite a bit, and I remember my mother like yelled at me to play Mario, to get me to pay attention and try to play Mario and stuff. So that was probably my earliest memory. And so like I had to learn. I basically they just left me with the controller, and I just started to play, and I learned how to play. I remember my mother was trying to play the second level in Mario where you're in the underground and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And she would move when she tried to run and jump, to build momentum, to jump on top of the, how the top of the level, there's like the bricks and you could break through them and jump to the top and run across the top of the screen. My mother tried to do that, and she moved the entire controller. So like when she was like, she moved the whole controller. Like she was holding the controller with both hands. She tried to move it like the motion would, cause Mario to move any faster. This is years before the Wii, years before the Wii ever came out with the accelerometer and stuff. But that's what happened, and so I actually had the honor of play. I actually had the rare chance of playing them all literally in order. So I got the first one, and then we rented Mario 2 from the video store. I played a little bit of that.
Was it Blockbuster?
No, it wasn't Blockbuster. It was an independent store. My folks didn't want to have to take out because in order to get something at Blockbuster, you had to have like a credit card or something, because they would use that as like collateral if you didn't return tapes or video games or something. So we always went to just like an independent store that didn't require you to have those. So we rented Mario 2, and then I think the following Easter, after I got the NES and Mario Brothers and Duck Hunt, my folks bought me Mario 3 and Donkey Kong Classics, which is basically the compilation of the original Donkey Kong from arcade and the Donkey Kong Jr. And so I played those. I never realized Donkey Kong was older than Super Mario Brothers until like the internet came out. I had no idea. So
wow.
Yeah. So like a year later, the Super Nintendo came out, and then Super Mario World was the launch title for that. So within like 2 years, I played Super Mario Brothers 1, 2, 3, and Super Mario World and Donkey Kong Classics. And then before that, right after I played Mario 3, ran out of Mario games to play, so my parents got me The Legend of Zelda and Zelda 2, The Adventure of Link. And those games I never beat until I was in 6th or 7th grade or something. So it's basically how it started. Ever since then, I've been getting Mario games for Christmas. I mean, I used to rent All Stars, which first time I ever played Lost Levels, which is the Japanese Super Mario 2, which Nintendo of America is like, hey, this game is too freaking hard. No one's gonna want to play this.
I won't be the
They're
only
not
one in the
wrong.
family who's beaten that game.
I beat it
Wait, you
once.
told me this, John?
Huh?
You never told me that.
That's because I don't want competition.
Well, too late now.
So did you beat the 8-bit version, or did you beat the Mario All Stars version?
Oh, I'm playing the original 8-bit version on the Switch.
Okay. Yeah, so that 8-bit version never came out until like years later, I think for the Wii or something. So the only way to play it back in the early 90s was to play the All-Stars version because they wanted a fourth game. The Mario All-Stars, which was they basically updated Mario 1, 2 and 3 with 16-bit graphics and sprites and stuff. They wanted to add a fourth game, so they upgraded. They used the same thing that they used for Mario, their first Mario game, and they did the same for Lost Levels, which is the Japanese Mario 2. And that was basically as a holder because they needed more time to develop the game Yoshi's Island, which they marketed as Super Mario World 2. So I thought when I was 11 when that game came out. I thought it was going to be like the sequel to Super Mario World because that's how they marketed in North America as Super Mario World 2, and it was nothing of the sort. It was actually the complete opposite. It was actually a prequel where you play as Yoshi and you're basically taking baby Mario across Yoshi's Island to rescue baby Luigi from baby Bowser, who was under the care of Magic Koopa Kamek. So, and it basically messes with the canon that I developed from watching all the cartoons and the live action movie. Because in back then the cartoons and the live action movie established that Super Mario and his brother Luigi were plumbers from Brooklyn, and they basically fell down some sort of massive drain pipe and they ended up in the Mushroom Kingdom. That's how I always thought. That's how I thought they always ended up there. But Nintendo was never really, I guess Nintendo never really came up with that. That was more of the animated show came up with that idea. So
Right.
but yeah, and I watched that.
New York.
I watched that animated show like it was like every day. The same with the Legend of Zelda cartoon that came out on the Fridays. I thought it was just freaking awesome. And last week I was on with Matt Cave. Paul, you were there. What really legitimized those old cartoons was the fact that they used the music and the sound effects from the games. And that's how those shows managed to legitimize themselves as, as proper, supplementary material to the games. So that's kind of how I started with Mario and stuff, and I've been playing the Mario games ever since. I played a teenager. I played Mario 64 and Sunshine. In college, the Wii came out. Galaxy 1 and 2. After I graduated college, I got Galaxy 2, 3D Land, 3D World, Odyssey, and my guess is the next Mario game that Nintendo's making, they're going to try and make it like Bowser's Fury, where it's going to be an open world game.
I could see that.
On the topic of Bowser's Fury, the Fury Bowser kind of reminds me of like Venom, but he's huge.
I
could see that.
Because Bowser normally wouldn't try and hurt his son, obviously.
Yeah. It's funny. You know what that also kind of made me think of? I don't know if you've ever seen how Yoshi's Island ends, but like Kamek, like the bosses in the game, basically Kamek is riding his broomstick and he sprinkles all this like pixie dust on like normal monsters, and they basically make him huge, kind of like in Power Rangers and stuff. Well, what they do to Bowser is he becomes so big that the castle, he's like, you have to shoot him from far away. And if he gets close enough to you, he just kills you and stuff. He's like that big. And that's kind of what it made me think of. It was that baby Bowser was super scary to look at as a giant and stuff. And you have to shoot him with eggs from very far away. I'll see if I can find a clip of that. But even as an 11-year-old, I found that unsettling.
Yeah, it certainly sounds unsettling. So for me, my first Mario game was Super Mario 64. And admittedly, I'm kind in a sense, I'm kind of speaking for both Jonathan and I. And John, feel free to jump in at any
Yeah.
point where your story diverges. But my first Mario game was Super Mario 64, and I think I shared this story on the main channel last time we talked gaming. We got our Nintendo 64. Oh, is this it?
Yeah,
Oh
right
yeah.
here. Like you're on the castle top, and
That.
Yoshi is far away. This is Baby Bowser as a big giant. Look at him with those eyes. Just like those eyes are just creepy enough. And if the thing is, he gets closer. The longer you take, he gets closer and closer to the point where if he gets too close, he will basically knock the ground from under you, and you fall and you die basically. And you have to
Oh,
start
I believe that.
you have to start the fight over again. So
So anyways, like I was saying, we got a Nintendo 64, and of course Mario 64 was included with it when our dad, back way before Jonathan was born, heck, even back before Michael and Morgan were born, I was like not even 2 at the time when dad gets into a really, and I mean really bad car accident on his way to work. He gets he gets hit head on by someone on the interstates, and if I remember the story correctly, the combined speed the two of them were going on impact was well north of 100 miles an hour. And so he is very badly injured. Now, thankfully, he's able still to walk and live a normal life today. But for quite a while, he was laid up in a hospital bed in the living room. And so mom basically wanted to give him something to do, so that he's not dying of boredom while recuperating. So she gets dad a Nintendo 64, and several different games were included with it. And two of them that are at least relevant to this conversation were Super Mario 64 and Mario Kart 64. And of course, because I was growing up, I played that Nintendo 64 too. We had that Nintendo 64 for many, many years. John, do you remember when we actually got rid of that thing?
I remember the scenario. So pretty much it hadn't been used in years because we had discovered the wide world of emulation,
Yes, which I got to thank one of my friends from high school on that one.
and I gotta thank you on that one. But so pretty much we got rid of it, and I don't remember the total, but mom decided it would be fair to buy something for us or give us money for it. So I remember getting a Bowser amiibo, which I wish I could find. I'd love to get another one of those. And that was just the end of it for a while. But it didn't really matter all too much.
Right. So yeah, that was our first experience with Mario. We had that Nintendo 64 forever. It took us until like just before the Wii released for us to get our GameCube. We really didn't get any Mario games per se on that one. We mostly got it for the Lego Star Wars games. Our next big Mario game that we played was the re-release of the original Mario that they put on Game Boy Color. I think it's called Super Mario Brothers Deluxe, and
Yeah.
it had packed with it a copy of the Lost Levels, and of course
Green
I played
Crunch
that.
Incarnate.
Yeah. And of course that's where I first played that game. Then I want to say 2012, Black Friday. I am Black Friday shopping with my grandmother and my aunt and uncle, and I go in GameStop and I see on sale a copy of Mario Galaxy. And so I get it and I play it and I really like it. And then
For Can I put context for me?
Go ahead.
So right now, 2012, I am in kindergarten. We always loved to play Mario Kart Wii together
Yes.
against each other, and I never won. So, continue.
So, anyways, we play Mario Galaxy. We each take our turn in beating it. Me, Michael, Jonathan. Um, Shortly after that's when I leave for the Navy. I get my hands on the Wii U, and I start playing some of the other more 2D games, like the new Super Mario Brothers series. That I started actually with the original one on the DS. I never finished that one.
That
I
one's
got
pretty
my
good, actually.
Yeah. I played New Super Mario Brothers U. I did finish that one. Tried to play New Super Mario Brothers Wii, but got bored of that one because I really couldn't find a difference between that one and the and New Super Mario Brothers U.
Very
Did you finish
similar.
that one, John?
I I got bored of it too, but I kind of just well, my relationship with Mario hit an all-time high when I got access to Mario Maker.
Yes,
So,
he. Okay, so Mario Maker. Jonathan, I love you, but Jonathan wore me out on that game because let's just say the two of us have two entirely different philosophies when it comes to Mario. I like to make levels, at least platforming wise, that I think Nintendo would actually make, but spam a whole bunch of enemies in them. John makes these elaborate puzzles that are
and
that
gimmicks.
are and gimmicks that require extreme precise platforming. In fact, I think we
Wow.
still have some of those, John. I might stream a couple of them at some point.
Yeah, I remember. Well, fun fact: when we first got Super Mario Maker 2, and I made you the Great Tree, I accidentally discovered the glitch that could make a level impossible to beat. So what you would do was you would upload a level that was possible to beat, and then you would do something to make it impossible, like raising the lava level above the player's head. So
Hmm.
I unintentionally discovered that when I was editing The Great Tree, but when I went to abuse that glitch, I will say, in my own levels much later, it was patched.
Yeah. So, and then of course we got our hands, each of us, on Mario Odyssey, and that's pretty much our whole history with Mario. And of course, right now we actually have here in my grandmother's sunroom our own original NES that has the original Mario and Mario Brothers 3. And so both of us are kind of at our own time working on those.
I kind of had a nice little relationship with New Super Mario Brothers 2. That was the 3DS one.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, I
But
finished
it was
that.
because of this thing called Member Berries, where they brought back the leaf and they brought back
Yes.
Raccoon Mario. So one of the things I feel that the new Super Mario Brothers games really lacked was the ability to fly again. Because I used to love when I was a kid play either as Kate Mario in Mario World or Raccoon Mario or Tanuki Mario in Mario 3, and you just there are some levels where it will take you, like if you fly up, like the frame will move with you. So the frame was much bigger, like the level was much bigger than it actually looked. But then there are some levels where you fly up and you just fly out of the frame and you don't see where you are and stuff. So I always wondered like what levels had that and what levels didn't have that. So, and I love that new Super Mario Brothers 2 kind of brought that back. I love flying up and finding secrets above and stuff. So when I design my levels in New Super Mario or in Mario Maker, like all the cool stuff is above that takes a little bit of work to get to. And if you want to just stay on the ground and stuff, there's a little bit of rewards, but it's not nearly as awesome and stuff. So
Okay.
So I love like putting like secrets and like I love like Mario World, for instance. I love the idea of the secondary exit, the secret exit that gives you
Yeah.
access to a secret level. I thought that was genius. That was something that Super Mario World brought to the table, and of course they continued those in the new Super Mario Brothers games.
Well, one thing. Well, if I can toot my own making skill horn
You all
in
right?
Mario Maker, I was able to make a completely functional Koopaling boss rush in the Super Mario World style.
Hmm.
And what I did was I gave you one fire flower at the start, I think, and one in the middle. And you're expected to beat all eight, well, all seven Koopalings and Bowser Jr. at the end. And of course, I put in some ways to cheese the bosses to make them go by easier. But that has a 2% clear rate.
Hmm.
And I had to beat it to be able to upload it. So I'm better than 98% of players at Mario Combat.
And that is indeed impressive. So,
See it, but I'm flexing my muscle.
of course you are. Partially because you want to show off the fact that you go to the gym.
Yep.
But anyways, so that kind of answers another question that I had for you, man. Like, what was the one Mario game that you say you definitively grew up with? And you kind of answered it with the original. And John, I know you've mentioned to me many times that you say that you grew up with Mario Galaxy the most, and of course I grew up with Mario 64.
Yeah, for me, it's really Mario 3. That was the game that really took up my Saturday morning. So if I wasn't watching, like, the Mario 3 cartoon that was on, or whatever other shows were on literally like 1990, 1991, then I was playing that game in the mornings before my parents would take me to, go grocery shopping or going to the video store that day and stuff. So I would say Mario 3 was really the one that I spent the most time with. And here's the thing. You couldn't save Mario 3. So if you turned off the game and you were in like World 7 or World 8 without going through the warp zones, you were screwed.
Oh,
You
yes.
have to restart the game.
Yeah.
And the original Mario game, if you got game over, you had to start from the beginning.
Yep.
No matter where you are. Mario 3 really started... Mario 2 started the continue thing, but you only had like a limited amount of continues.
Kind of like what Sonic does with its continue system.
Yeah, and then I think Sonic has the countdown, kind of like arcade games used to back in the day. So if you didn't if you didn't press the button right away, you could lose everything and have to start in the beginning. So
I just like waiting till the last second and then using it, because I want to see the animation.
Yeah.
So let's talk now about the story and characters of the Mario series. Now, I think we're all in agreement when we say that compared to other franchises of Nintendo, the story of Mario and Luigi and Princess Peach is kind of the least interesting when you compare it to, say, Legend of Zelda or Metroid or heck, even Star Fox.
Or
right?
even Sonic.
Sonic doesn't count.
Well, you're right, because it's not Nintendo.
Yeah, we're talking Nintendo only.
The first three Sonics are directly connected. I think Sonic Mania is connected to the first three as well. And Sonic and Knuckles is part of Sonic 3. It's basically episode 2 of Sonic 3.
Yeah, I think Sonic Mania happens right after classic Sonic gets back from Generations. And then he's forced into Forces. Pun intended.
Okay.
Of course you were.
And Sonic 4, I remember they came out with Sonic 4 back in like 2010. and everybody hated it. I didn't understand why, but then I played the game and like the physics was off a little bit. And it was just basically member berries from like previous games. So like they redid Green Hill Zone, they called it Splash Hill, and other stuff. But I know we're not talking about Sonic, we're talking about Mario.
Right.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that we can all say that Sonic suffers from something called the Green Hill virus.
The Green Hill virus.
By the way,
I actually prefer Emerald Hill myself. I like that theme better. It's
Yeah.
a way better baseline.
by the way, real quick, Nerdporial, this is completely off topic, but I have a meme to show you. I literally just came across this on a Facebook page. Check this out.
The Red Shirt Diaries. First day on the starship. Got all my equipment and a new red shirt. First away team assignment. Wonder if I'll see an alien. Here's the question: Does he go on the away mission with Kirk, Spock, and McCoy? Log closed. Crewman deceased.
I think we can only assume.
Yeah, his name was Ensign Ricky, and may his legacy never diminish.
Well, PJ's gone.
So what do you want to talk about? What should we talk about?
I guess we should just continue it like normal without him till he gets back.
There he is.
My bad. I closed the wrong tab again.
Good job.
I'm still Captain Paul. I need to be Master Paul. There we go. So anyway, like I said, I think we can all agree, of all of the different IPs that Nintendo has made, as far as how interesting the story is, Mario as a whole is kind of the least interesting. Because think about it. In the 2D Mario games, up until I think Super Mario World, the story is the same. Peach is kidnapped by Bowser. You're Mario. You gotta go rescue her.
Princess Toadstool.
Princess Toadstool, yeah. That's really it. You're not given anything else but a bunch of levels and platforming challenges that you have to get through.
Well,
Yeah.
at the end of Mario 3, Peach does decide to do a little bit of trolling.
Mario 3?
What?
Yeah, with the whole the princess is in another castle.
That's the first one.
Really?
Yeah.
Mario 3 is the one where you go to 7 different worlds, you go to the castles where the kings are, and they're all transformed. Their magic wands are stolen by the Koopalings, and that's the first game we ever meet the Koopalings.
Mm-hmm.
And fun fact, when I was growing up, the way Nintendo of America put together the instructions manual for Mario 3, they literally said that they were Koopa's kids. But in Japan, that was not the case. So, like, years later, like, Miyamoto says, hey, the Koopalings are actually not Bowser's kids. They're actually just his, young lieutenants and stuff. Because the cartoon, the Mario 3 cartoon, and the instructions manual basically state that the Koopalings were his kids, were his 7 kids and stuff. So, but in Mario 3, you go basically to different worlds. You go to Grass World, Grassland, Iceland, Desert Land, Waterland, Big Land, Pipeland, Skyland. You go to those places. You go to you go through the levels. You make your way to the castle where the king is located, and the king's scepter gets stolen, and the king is turned into some creature. And they're like, hey, you need to go and get the wand back so that we can transform the king back to his normal self. So after you do that, you run and jump and get you play the Doom ship or the airship levels and stuff, which they've redone so many times in the new Super Mario Brothers games. And then it's a automatic scrolling level, I believe. All 7 of them are automatic scrolling levels and stuff. And then you fight the Koopalings, your typical 3 hits, jump on them 3 times. Get the wand, take them, and you literally fall all the way back down. So you're up in the air, the entire airship disappears, And I love the Mario 3 fanfare. It still gives me goosebumps every time I hear it. Dun 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 dun. Bo-do-do-do-do-do, you know.
Right.
And the whole airship disintegrates around you. You're in the air and you're in free fall, and you're holding the wand and you're in free fall. You're falling through the clouds. And when I was a kid, this blew my mind. I was like, this is awesome and stuff. And then you literally land back in the castle, right in front of the king, and then the wand goes back into his hand, and he's back to normal and stuff, and everybody's happy. And that's how that was basically all 7 worlds. And during that time, that's when Koopa kidnaps the princess. He sends you a letter saying, while you were wasting time, I kidnapped the princess. Come and get her. So that's world, and then that's world 8. So
Okay.
Well,
which is called Darkland.
Oh, fun.
not the Dark World.
So
No.
yeah, basically, I got to play this game more to see all this.
You haven't played Mario 3?
Not all the way.
The
It's,
Dark World
it's
is
awesome.
something very different.
The Dark
Yeah.
World's in Link to the Past, ain't it?
That's right. That's
Yeah,
actually,
and-
I think I literally say this in my Link to the Past video. I actually mentioned Star Trek in the mirror universe, and I say even before I knew about Star Trek in the mirror universe, I knew about the Dark World because I got that Link to the Past I got for my 8th birthday.
Yeah.
What?
By the way, Nerdporial, the agony booth is a most effective means of discipline, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, unfortunately it is. I just need to get myself my own little pocket, agonizer, to discipline people.
Mm-hmm. So just as a side note, while I'm thinking about it, is that the episode that started the whole Chekhov screaming meme?
I think so. Yeah.
So yeah, John, that's just another reason to watch Star Trek with me. By the way, hello to Cobra Disney Jedi. Thank you for joining. So let's talk about each of the characters themselves, and I'm just going to run each of them by you, and just give me like a one word or a one phrase kind of thoughts on them. So we'll start with, and of course this is to both of you, so just both of you answer. So yeah, just what do you think of Mario himself?
He's basically the well-rounded hero and stuff. I mean, he's in Mario 2 when you play, you could either play as Mario, Luigi, Toad, or Princess Toadstool. Mario's basically the well-rounded hero. So he can jump high, slightly higher than everyone else. He's the more balanced of the characters. Luigi can jump higher, but he's a little bit more clumsy. As you can see, Luigi kind of wiggles his feet when he jumps and stuff. And he's a little bit taller, obviously, but he's a little bit more cautious and coward. Slightly, Luigi's Mansion kind of establishes him as more cowardly. But in the old Mario show, and I said this with Matt Cave. I said this with Matt Cave. Luigi was always the more cautious of the two. So Mario was the one that would go in there, be the hero. Luigi was the more cautious one. He would pull Mario back if things got a little too dangerous and stuff. Yep. So that's basically my view of Luigi. And of course, and Toad in Mario 2 was basically the dad from Doki Doki Panic, which was what Mario 2 was based off of, that they kind of took and painted the Mario characters off of. So Toad was the dad character who was strong. Like, he could pick up the stuff, like the plants and the vegetables really quickly and throw them. But he couldn't jump high. Like, the gravity for him was much quicker. So he didn't jump high, and he landed quicker. So he didn't, so...
Wasn't he also the fastest?
Yeah, he was the fastest when it came to picking up stuff. So if you wanted to, in order to get to the bonus level at the end of each level in Mario 2, you would basically there's always grass to pick up. So if you managed to pick up like a magic bottle and throw it, a door would appear. You go into the door, and on the other side you'd be in a like weird little netherworld version up like mirror. It was literally mirrored to the point. I can show you. I'll share my screen.
I've seen this.
So basically, he's in like a little netherworld, and then if you see like alternate versions of the grass, if you pick them up, you get like coins and stuff, and those act like coins that you can use at the end of the level. There's like a little bonus round that you can do in between levels, and it's a slot machine. And if you get like cherries and stuff, you get like extra lives. So if the first one you get a cherry, you get 1 life. You get 2 cherries, back to back, you get 2 lives, and if you get 3 cherries, you get 5 up. Or if you match everything else, all 3, you get an extra life as well. So that's how you did it. So
Yes, I remember talking about that. Um, so anyways, getting back on topic, you already answered what you think for Luigi and Toad. John, I guess those 3 characters, what's your thoughts on them?
So for Luigi, I felt like I could relate to him the most in the past. Not anymore.
Because you lift, bro?
Yeah. But I could relate to being the one cautious one who avoided conflict, because that's how I used to be.
Yes.
For Toad, he used to be good, but he kind of fell off.
How do you mean?
Like, the Mario 64 Toads, for me, well, Toad, okay, it can be better described as a mixed bag.
Okay.
Because, in my opinion, the Toads in Mario 64 kind of just serve to be, like, background noise.
Mm-hmm.
dun 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 dun. That's basically Toad to me.
Yeah.
Yes, same here. I don't need the whole okay.
And obviously memes. But
That is true.
like Toad in 3D World, the new Super Mario Bros. Games, he's actually going out and helping the heroes.
So I got a question:
Blue
Is
Toad
Toad
supremacy.
And I had this conversation with a buddy of mine. Is Toad a single character, or is he just the race of mushroom?
I think
Mushroom
Ooh,
characters. Because I remember in
I
Mario,
think
I remember in the
both.
I remember in the cartoon, like they could take off they wore the mushrooms like hats. Like the mushroom people in the cartoon could take off the mushroom, the mushrooms on top like hats and stuff. I'm not sure if that's the case in the games though. I think it's part of their head or something. I'm not sure.
Yeah,
Well-
I think it's both.
Now in Mario RPG, there is a character named Toad he's one of many. They all look alike and stuff, but there's one particular Toad. When you walk into the castle, the Mushroom Kingdom castle, and when you look at the text, the text says Toad and then colon and then he's talking. So, and then you talk to the other Toads, you don't get like a name and stuff. You just get a generic line of dialogue from them. So they did nail a character named Toad and stuff. And of course, Mario 2, the way they've made Toad look in Mario 2 was blue. They made him look blue, so he was Blue Toad or something.
So the blue spots instead of
Yeah.
the red ones that we know from, say, Super Mario 64.
Exactly.
Blue Toad is supreme.
I agree. I didn't even know. I thought Blue Toad was just like it was a different hat from. Like how you wear different
Yes.
baseball caps or different colored caps and stuff. That's why I always thought when the difference. But apparently Nintendo says they're different characters. Like there's a Blue Toad, there's a Yellow Toad, there's a Red Toad. Oh, Nintendo, you guys are confusing.
Yes,
But Mario
indeed.
games were not designed with like a story in mind. Mario games were designed with like a new mechanic or a new type of technology, and then they would just simply use the Mario characters that they've already introduced because Mario is super duper popular and super duper familiar to most video gamers. That they just basically all that innovation. That's why you don't get a Mario game like every year or every 2 years.
Yeah,
So
they
here-
want to really take their time and make sure it's the best that it possibly can be.
Yeah, and the thing, and I'm gonna sound like I'm gonna sound like an old schmuck, but the last few directs I've watched were just not interesting because like for me the big things that I like about Nintendo stuff, it's basically Mario, Zelda, Metroid, and Donkey Kong. Those are really the 4 that I really like a lot and stuff that I would pay attention to. I don't really care so much about the Mario Kart. Mario Kart Super Smash Bros. Were cool when they first came out, but they kind of got old to me. I don't really care much about them anymore. Now they always announce a new Fire Emblem game. They always announce a new Splatoon game.
I am actually hyped for Splatoon 3. I'll be real with you.
Okay, yeah, Splatoon is just I just never I saw the way it looked and The gameplay just that doesn't really interest me.
It's a little
And
niche.
yeah, it's for people your age and stuff. Grew up with
Yeah.
Xbox and PlayStation, all those type of games, shooters and stuff. So, but like I hear about Fire Emblem games. Fire Emblem wasn't around. At least it was around in Japan, but didn't come out. They didn't release the NES or Super NES versions, or even on N64. They didn't release them until like Game Boy Advance or GameCube or something like that. So I don't have a history with Fire Emblem, and they keep talking about like more Pokemon stuff and Fire Emblem stuff that I just don't really care about. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I understand that because as someone that's only just trying to get into Pokemon again, you know, even if I do become a fan of Pokemon, much like your certain Modporial Mr. Woopa Troopa, it will never be number one for me as far as Nintendo's concerned. That's always gonna be Mario and Zelda.
yeah,
Well,
by the way, I did get the new Kirby game just now. That game actually, I never been excited for a Kirby game before I saw the Kirby in the Forgotten Land. It actually looks really good.
Nice.
Super Kirby Odyssey, that's what it should be called.
That's what it looks like, but it's not quite. It's not quite open world. Apparently, my Modporial Jake D says it's very linear. It's a very linear game. And Kirby games, I think, are generally easier than Mario games. Kirby games are
Yeah.
for like younger kids, I believe.
Yes,
Kirby
and in
games
general,
are for
Kirby
babies.
games. And in general, Kirby games are linear, so that's really not too far out of expectation.
Yeah. Well, for me, I tried Fire Emblem. I played the original that was released on the Switch, and I just got bored instantly.
I played a little bit of that too, just to give it a toss. It's a weird game. It's very different. I've never played a strategy game before, so it was just like
Also, I
or
can't get
those type of
in-
RPGs or whatever they are, because you don't feel like you're in control at all.
Yeah, I can't really get into the whole permadeath mechanic.
Yeah, there was actually one RPG on the N64 I played where if your character died, they stayed dead. It was called Aiden Chronicles.
What?
It was called Aiden Chronicles. It was basically it was a typical turn-based RPG. It was on the N64, and your characters, if you could like, there's a lot of characters that you can recruit in the world and stuff. But if your character dies, you couldn't get them back, or if your characters left the party, that you couldn't get them back half the time. So
Yeah, that's a little too realistic, I think.
Yeah, I mean,
it was a very dark game. It was like rated M, I think.
which I don't think that rating was all too common. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Back then, no, not really.
Yeah, these days, rated M really means, oh great, Activision has released another shooter.
Every other 6-year-old and 7-year-olds playing an M-rated game. That's how.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
But
Honestly-
I initially with because Resident Evil came out around when I was like around the same time the N64 came out, and I saw like some of the footage and stuff, or at least the arcade footage of like some of the Resident Evil stuff, like how bloody it was. I was just like, oh, this is to me it was a turnoff because I was used to platformers, I was used to Mario and Zelda stuff, so I was like. I never realized until years later when I finally my friend the friend I met in college he played all the Resident Evils and I played them. They're basically just horror versions of Legend of Zelda. I mean, they're puzzle based and it's just like there's just jump scares and a little bit more blood.
Yeah,
But
I
like
can
finding keys,
see
but like
that.
finding keys to doors and stuff, that's Zelda to me.
well, for me, well, for Pokemon, well, our dad didn't really let us play it, but I'm not really interested in it anymore. Like, it's kind of just something that Nintendo offers that I don't really want.
Right.
So okay, so we were talking about characters. So what about Princess Toadstool? So
Well,
in what-
hold on a second. John didn't share all of his thoughts on Yoshi and sorry, not Yoshi, Mario, Luigi, and Toad.
Well, for Mario, the only thing I can say, and I've made this joke once in this stream, but I'll make it again. Perfectly balanced, as all things should be.
Okay. And Toad?
And Toad, sometimes he's good, sometimes he's not. Like when he's just an NPC telling you what to do, you can you can go get someone else with that. I'm not into it.
Okay.
But when he's a playable character, I'm all in for it. Blue Toad supremacy.
All right. Fair enough. All right, so yeah, you were already going there. What about Princess Peach?
So, for me, she was always just that. Well, okay, I'm not gonna try and trigger anybody, but I'm just gonna say what I'm thinking. She was
You
kind of
love
just
you love Pink Gold Peach?
no.
let,
Speaking of that, Nathaniel Bandy got hacked.
let me check real quick and see if he did. So, real quick, Nerdtorial, there's this one Nintendo YouTuber we really like. His name is Nathaniel Bandy, and he was the latest victim of this one hack that's happened to different YouTubers where this random crypto scam channel will completely hack their channel, remove all their content, and run nothing but constant
6-hour
live
live
streams.
streams.
Yeah, talking about basically what's going on with crypto.
I see.
And it just sucks.
Yeah,
But
and he is still, by the way, not he has still not recovered. By the way, it's still called MicroStrategy.
Really?
yeah,
Yeah.
sucks. But as I was saying, Princess Peach was kind of just the thing that I needed to get back to beat the game. That was until Mario Odyssey. Because I really liked Mario Odyssey's post game. It's what got me in to seeking out the hardest boss in any game, getting good enough and fighting it. Like hardest boss, hardest level, whatever, I'll do it.
You're talking about the dragon in Mario Odyssey?
I'm talking about darker side.
Okay.
So pretty much, do you know what darker side is?
I don't remember.
So pretty much, you need 500 power moons to get to it, and it's pretty much the dedicated player ending of the game. Because it puts pretty much everything you have done to good use. Like, there's even a Bowser section at the end. There's a Donkey Kong section. There's... I haven't played it in a while, so I don't really remember, but there's a bunch of sections that are really difficult, but really satisfying to do once you actually get it done. And for me, Peach was more of a character instead of just something to get back. Because she traveled the world, and with Cappy's sister, I believe it is.
I think so.
Yeah, she did. She traveled the world and went to go see all the stuff that we had to forcefully go see.
Right.
And, of course, the elephant in the room, Peach just rejects both Mario and Bowser. For me,
Which I didn't like.
well, for me, I was just I was just laughing, like both of them just got schooled.
So, okay, so yeah, Princess Peach, I think she serves a good role as the goal for Mario's quest. What about Bowser?
So, you can go.
Bowser was interesting. I mean, he was basically the antagonist of the Mario games. I mean, he basically kidnaps a princess in every game, and he does follow suit in Super Mario RPG, which I consider in my mind, I consider Super Mario RPG a follow up to Super Mario World. He kidnaps
How can
kidnaps.
I play Mario RPG?
I mean, I have recent. How I play it is you could either play it on an emulator, or if you can find a way to buy a Super Nintendo Mini. I don't know if they have any.
Um, not that I can think of.
Or if you have a Wii U, I don't know if they still have the Wii U eShop, but it was on the Wii U for a while too.
Hmm.
I'm not buying a Wii U to find out.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had one.
I think
It's gone now.
I think they'll eventually release it on Switch, on Switch
mean-
Online and stuff.
I mean, people have been wanting N64 online, and they gave it to us
Yeah.
Exactly.
for $30 extra
Now I'm rooting
Yeah.
now I'm rooting for GameCube Online.
for another $30 extra.
Yeah, what's funny is
I'll pay it.
we've been waiting for like GameCube games to be adapted for years now. Like we thought the Wii U was going to have GameCube games, and they never did that. They re-released Wii games. They re-released the Wii U eShop was lackluster compared to the Wii eShop. So it was like just disappointing how they choose their games and stuff. And with the Switch it's even worse. Like they do
Yeah.
like a game like every other month or something. It's ridiculous.
And they're not even games that people want to play. Like, I
Yeah.
don't want to play Spanky's Quest, Solomon's Quest, whatever.
Solomon's Key. Solomon's
Yeah.
Key.
And
We
I
want to
could-
play freaking Mega Man. We want to play Castlevania. We want to play DuckTales. We want to play those games.
Woo!
Exactly. Yeah, me and Matt Cave were talking about we were talking about DuckTales last time.
Oh yeah. I just barely remember DuckTales growing up. But yeah. So Bowser, we already talked about, he's a good goal. All the side characters, they're more for the spin-off games now, like Wario, Waluigi. Waluigi will never be in Smash Brothers, Jonathan.
I have accepted that. He is in Smash as an assist trophy, and I am happy that he's even included that way.
You know who people really
Honestly,
want?
Shadow deserves it more.
You know who people really want to bring into Smash Brothers?
Who?
I'm going back to Super Mario RPG. Gino, the character Gino.
Yeah. Didn't-
Basically, and here's the thing, I'm going to go back to Mario RPG really quickly. Bowser becomes your ally midway through the game and stuff. Like the point, like Mario RPG is basically you have a new villain who is even more dangerous and more evil than Bowser. But then again, I don't think Bowser is evil. He's just a misguided bully and stuff. That's basically all he is. The way he's depicted, he's never mean to the princess and stuff. He just takes her against her will and puts her.
just takes her, locks
He wants
her in a cage,
he wants to marry
she's
her.
Fine.
He wants to
Yep.
marry her and stuff. So, and she's like, no. If you ever play Paper Mario, you get to see like what's like to be princess when she's kidnapped and stuff, which I think is pretty funny. But it's pretty cool that I mean, when I was a kid, I was 11 when I first played Mario RPG. It just blew me away that Bowser would join your party, and the way they handled Bowser was hilarious. And I say this in my Mario RPG retrospective. He's very insecure. He's very insecure, and he's like, he will say, hey, he puts on a facade to look tough and mean and stuff when he's actually not. And like, so whenever they say, "Hey, Bowser, are you in trouble?" He's like, "No, I meant to be here and stuff." And you are now part of the. He's like, "Mario, you are now officially part of the Koopa Troop." When in all honesty, he's actually a member of Mario's party and stuff. So, but it's just hilarious. And you even get Princess. You get Bowser and Princess playing with you, and that's my, even though I like Mallow and Gino a lot, but when I have to pick my party for when you fight Smithy at the end of Super Mario RPG, I have it with as Mario, Bowser, and Princess fighting together and stuff because I just think it's awesome. And plus, Princess is a great healer. Like the group hug the group hug from Mario RPG will heal all of you almost to 100%.
Yeah. So yeah, that's all I can think of to talk about with the characters. So let me ask you this now. In general, do you guys prefer the 3D Mario games or the 2D Mario games, all things considered with each?
I mean, I will probably always prefer the 2D games because that's what I started with. The 3D games took me time to get used to. Like I had to get used to. It kept messing with my depth perception and stuff. So I remember when I first got Mario 64, I kept dying left and right. And plus I couldn't take the game. It was hard for me to take the game seriously because before Mario 64, you didn't hear Charles Martinet or Martinet, going woohoo, yippee,
True.
like that when he falls and stuff. He doesn't. He does. You don't. You just hear. You just hear dun 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 dun. That's how he dies. That's how Mario dies generally. So, but in Mario 64, you hear Charles Martinet screaming in a hilarious way. Yeah, that. Yeah, I'm like, I couldn't. It took me a while to get used to that. Especially playing the first Bowser level, because I rented Mario 64 first, so I was able to play the first Bowser level right away because I was playing someone else's save state. But yeah, I still got blown away by 3D Mario and stuff. I still love 3D Mario. But like, yeah, the 2D is to me is like home for me, especially Super Mario World and Super Mario 3 and the original, and even Mario 2. The first four really where it started for me, and that's why I did a single retrospective, single video on those first four games.
Right.
I might do a future video talking about each of those games individually and go a little bit deeper into each of their respective developments and stuff. But
That would be fun. John, your turn. 3D versus 2D Mario. What do you think?
I personally prefer 3D.
I wonder why. Is it because you're a youngster?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm in the same boat with him. I prefer the 3D also, but John, I'll let you explain why. We'll see if I agree.
It's just because it feels like there's more to do.
That's true.
Because once you in the 2D games, once you find the secret exit, if there's one, and beat the level, that's it. You don't need to revisit it.
all you do is really you either go to point A to point B, and maybe there might be a point C in a level. So I know exactly what you're talking about. Whereas Mario 64 was the very first time you had like set goals and stuff. You had to go to a particular part of the level and do something, whether it be fighting a King Pabam or racing a big giant Koopa Troopa and stuff. So
And in Mario 64, pretty much every 3D game, there's more than one thing to do in each and every level, and each mission is somewhat unique. Except for the red coins and 100 coins. Like, those can get repetitive.
the Galaxy games were Galaxy 1 and 2 were pretty, to me, and the 3D games were pretty linear to me. So they basically instead of going the sandbox way that Sunshine and 64 and later Odyssey would do, they basically said, hey, you're in a 3D area, you have to make your way to this goalpost, which was always either at the top of something or way far down the area, and you were generally surrounded by, like, if you fell off, you were dead and stuff.
Right. And overall, between the two, now I've never finished Galaxy 2, and
That's a great game.
And currently, I don't have the ability to play that game.
Yeah, I know.
But what little I played of Mario Galaxy 2, I got the sense that style of gameplay, Mario Galaxy 1 did just a little bit better, I think.
I just think that Galaxy 2 was a lot more linear than Galaxy 1.
Which was already linear to begin with.
Yeah.
Galaxy 2 did bring in a lot more two-dimensional areas. There were some levels that I think were completely two-dimensional and stuff. And so because of how I feel and stuff, it kind of wet my beak a little bit. It made me kind of happy and stuff to see the 2D aspect. But I feel like some of the levels were way more. I think they were better designed in Galaxy 2. Like I had a much better. I was having a much better time playing the game than Galaxy 1. I loved the final boss fight. The final boss fight was awesome, and
Yeah,
I
that
still
final
I
boss
still could
fight.
not beat. I could not beat I still cannot beat Grandma. I tried millions of times. It's hard to get that final green star for
Let me
Grandmaster Galaxy.
let me ask you this then, Brian. Since you said um, that you like the final boss from Galaxy 2, the final, basically the final blow that you dish to him when you ground pound those 3 asteroids into Bowser. Would you agree with some criticism that I've heard that people basically said that part's too easy?
Probably.
Yes.
I was thinking the final boss in Galaxy 2 where you're basically you're fighting Bowser, you're falling into like a wormhole and stuff, and you're basically trying to knock him into the wormhole or something like that. It was
Oh, I
something
think
it was something epic like that. That's how Galaxy 2 ends. Galaxy 1 ends on the asteroid and stuff. And Galaxy
Okay.
2 begins on the asteroid, but they add that little wormhole segment.
I think that the wormhole segment was too easy
That's probably what it was.
because I remember first playing and finishing it, and granted, it's not the first time that these asteroids have been used, so I've gotten pretty good at aiming them, and I didn't even get hit in this section. Much less did I die in that section.
Right.
All right, I got a
And-
screen. Why is it doing that? Why is it
I
blinking?
got it.
Why is it blinking? Jeez.
Yeah, that's the part we were talking about. I could just barely see it.
Let's try it again. All right, it should be good now. So this
Yep.
right here.
That's what we're talking about. A lot of people that we follow on YouTube, Nathaniel Bandy included, have said that section right there is too easy. In fact, that's it's a thumbnail for a article that you have pulled up there from What Culture that says 10 shockingly easy final bosses in iconic video games.
Yeah,
Well-
I didn't have a problem. I don't think I ever died during this part of the boss fight. So
Well,
Hmm.
for me, this is more about show and spectacle than true difficulty.
Yeah, I could.
I can believe that.
So yeah, basically, I think our answer, and I kind of knew this from the beginning. I kind of knew you were going to say that you prefer the 2D games more than the 3D ones, just because that's what you grew up with. Same with how we grew up with the 3D ones. So of course, we're gonna pick what we know the best. So, what is one? Here's a question: what is one game? And you might have a hard time answering this one, Nerdporial. What is one Mario game you've never played that you would like to?
That I would like to?
Yes. Like, if you were to prioritize one Mario game you've never played and you want to get it played as soon as possible, what would it be?
I have never played, and this game was widely acclaimed. I've never played. I've only played one of the Mario and Luigi games. They made 5 of them. Alpha Dream made 5 of them. And the best one that they say, at least the best one according to critics, is Bowser's Inside Story. So if there's one that I want to really play, and I own it, I actually have the 3DS version. I just haven't opened it up and played it yet. Is Bowser's Inside Story, not the original version, but the new version for 3DS? Because I think the first one came out for DS.
It did.
So
I played Dream Team. I never beat it because when PJ, I remember you gave me a big case with a bunch of 3DS games in it, and when I went to throw that case away, I goofed and threw the games away.
Right. So were you able to get them back, or are they completely gone?
They're completely gone.
You know what? Just
What? 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 What?
what were you thinking, John?
I was in 5th grade, dude.
Oh, wait a minute. Oh, wait a minute. That Nintendo 3DS case. I thought you were talking about the one I just gave you.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that.
Okay, good.
Why would I do that? I mean,
Okay.
But yeah, to me, this is like this is one of my favorite boss fights of all time, right here, Super Mario World, where he's in the clown car, he's in the hovering clown car, and you have to basically pick up the Mecha Koopas, stomp on them, and then you hold them and you kick them up, which is a mechanic that was unique to Super Mario World. You can kick them up and then you hit them in the top of the head. One thing I wish they kind of would have done, if there was one thing that I wish they could have added, I wish there would have been a way to use Cape Mario and just have him like do that. You know how when Cape Mario flies, he goes down and you can hit like a villain and stuff on the head and stuff if you dive into him. It would be cool if you could dive into Bowser like that and hurt
It would
him.
have.
To give the Cape a little bit more of a a role, especially in the final boss, like if you can do that and stuff. So
well, my first experience with Super Mario World was when I got it for the 3DS on the eShop, and I loved it.
it's considered by most, and I can't blame them, as the best Mario game of all time.
Mm-hmm.
I don't. I wouldn't give it that high praise, but I would say it's the best 2D Mario game.
Oh, that's without a doubt. Now, it's not my favorite 2D. My favorite 2D game is actually Mario 3, but Super Mario World technically is the better game.
Yeah,
And
it is.
It is and until like I see something better from New Super Mario Brothers, which just basically rehashes ideas from Mario 3, Super Mario World,
Yep.
And
Yep.
itself.
and itself. Like they keep reusing the music. I'm like, come on, come up with some new stuff. I know Koji
Yeah,
Kondo's
it's all variations of da 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 ba.
And I mean, if you
Like-
look at change the art. I mean, like they do with Zelda, change the art style a little bit, make Mario look a little bit different. Like Mario, way he looks in Mario World, he doesn't look like that in Mario 3 or even Mario 2 or even the
Yeah,
first game.
or
Like,
even
if
or
I
even
can
an example in
complain-
the 3D games. And granted, this is due to technological reasons. Mario looks nothing like he did in Sunshine back in '64 or in Galaxy.
Yeah,
but
but yeah, like in the first Mario game, he's red. He doesn't wear blue overalls. He wears red overalls and a blue shirt. Or actually, no, that's wrong. He wears a brown shirt in the game. In the game, he wears a brown shirt and red overalls. But if you look at like the all these supplemental like promotional stuff, he's wearing a blue shirt. If you see him in the TV show, he's wearing a blue shirt. So, but yeah, man, it's but yeah, like I want to see a Mario game that kind of reminds me of like the character design or the art style of Breath of the Wild or Wind Waker. I want to see a cel shaded Mario looking game.
honestly, I just think that the boss fights in the new Super Mario Bros. Games, with the exception of the Bowser Jr. fight near the end of U and the Bowser fight of U, I just think the boss fights are very, very bland.
Yeah, they basically copy
Yeah,
Super
they
Mario
are.
World. It's basically they will shoot. It's like a combination of Mario 3 and Super Mario World. So in Mario 3, the Koopalings all had the magic wands, so they would basically either jump at you or shoot the wand at you and stuff. And then in Mario World, like they all had like Koopalings had different things. Like there was you were on there was a couple of them in Mario World where you were on a teeter totter. You were on a lava island teeter totter, and you had to knock one of the Koopalings off of it in order to beat him. And then there was one where you were like in a series of pipes. You're in a room with a series of pipes, and they would change the pipes, or they would come out of different pipes with like two like decoys and stuff. So you had to hit the right, hit the right one to 3 times to get them, knock them in the lava. And of course, then there were the ones where you were in like a single arena, and they would just run at you. And if you hit them, they would go into their shell, and they would try to hit you with the shell and stuff, which is what they do in New Super Mario Brothers. So
Excuse me.
Well, honestly, I just don't like the music either. Like,
Hey, Green Lantern.
Like, honestly, playing the Like, if I wanted to play the new Super Mario Bros. Games, I would turn the volume down to mute and put on a YouTube video.
You know what's funny? When I remember when I was in college, they had a video game symphony in here in Chicago, right by O'Hare, and they had all like the famous music composers. So you had Nobuo Uematsu from Final Fantasy was there, Yasunori Masuda from Chrono Trigger was there, and you know who else was there? Koji Kondo was there. And so like I forget something happened. There was like technical difficulties. So he got up. He was there. He got up. He just went to the piano, and this was right before New Super Mario Brothers came out. And he played the theme to the overworld of New Super Mario Brothers on the piano, and we heard it for the first time at this concert. So, and it was just I thought it was amazing. I liked the theme, but the theme got old after 4 games playing and it sounded exactly the same.
Mm-hmm.
It's like,
and the fact that they're still using that music in Mario Maker 2.
Yeah, I mean, like in Mario 2, like you had a different theme. Like the original classic theme was still there, but it was usually either a background theme or a theme that was like a bonus Easter egg and stuff.
Like, why do you think music levels are so popular?
Exactly. Yeah. I what do you mean, like music levels? Like
Oh yes, basically where it's this big like chain reaction that they start in Mario Maker 2, where either you're zipping around all over the map when really you're not moving your controller at all, or you just keep moving while other things on the map are going crazy, and it plays a here. I'll show you if I can.
Okay, I think I know what you're talking about. I think I've seen those. I can only imagine the amount of work it takes or the amount of time it takes to make something like that.
Let me find it. Okay, so just real quick, Nerdporial, you have of course heard the Dragon Force song "Through the Fire and Flames," correct?
I don't. Probably not.
It was big in the Guitar Hero series. But anyways, here's an example of a music level, and I'll turn this up. And then the second part comes. Now how they are able to get those specific sounds, I don't know. But
yeah, it's
stuff
beyond
like
me.
that is some of my favorite levels to look up in Mario Maker.
Like, I'll just look up a random song that I want to listen to, and I'm just all like, dang, that's a good remix. Like, why listen to actual remixes when you can just look up Mario Maker remixes?
Oh yeah, like here, I'll show you another one. This one's almost guaranteed to get us copyright struck, but you know what?
Oh, please
I'm gonna do it anyways. Another thing that people like to do is take the Super Mario 64 sound fonts that they use to basically the MIDI files that they use to make the soundtrack, and they'll remix it to make other songs. And here's my favorite one.
Yeah, people like to do this for all kinds of stuff, like Undertale music, and
This one is my absolute favorite because it's one of the greatest rock songs of all time.
Didn't this riff get banned from Guitar Center?
That's a meme, John.
Alright.
That's a meme because the Stairway to Heaven riff or finger-picking thing is one of the most overplayed things ever. Every single guitar player knows that, as well as they know Smoke on the Water.
I actually kind of want to listen to that now. I want to listen to.
I'll send you the link in the private chat. I dare not play any more of it on here.
Oh, of course not. Absolutely.
I dare not utter that here.
Yes. We were. Alright, so here's coming. So yeah, let's talk. Speaking of music, let's talk about that now. And this isn't really so much Mario exclusive, but it's more, just praising the work of Koji Kondo. Whether it's Mario or Zelda or Star Fox or Metroid, Koji Kondo is one of, if not the best, video game composers.
Honestly,
I totally agree with that.
Koji Kondo rivals Jake Hoffman, who did the Shovel Knight and Cyber Shadow soundtracks, and he also rivals Toby Fox, who you know what he did.
Right. Yeah, the only person that I think could rival Koji Kondo is Yoko Shimomura, the lady who did the Kingdom Hearts soundtrack.
And Mario RPG.
She did?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
I have a couple other composers in mind too. There's Nobuo Uematsu of the Final Fantasy games. He did all 10. He did the first 10 games, and they're all iconic. They're all amazing soundtracks, unforgettable.
I've heard of the One Winged Angel theme.
Okay, that's from 7. That's the final boss, Sephiroth. That's when you fight Sephiroth at the end. Yeah, I was at an anime convention a few years ago, and the same conductor that conducted that symphony that I just told you guys about when I was in college. Well, they were doing a small little version where they were playing Final Fantasy stuff. So they played 7 with a choir and stuff. They had a choir there, singing, chanting the stuff, and I love that. I just love that. So, but like Final Fantasy, like they play stuff from like Final Fantasy because SquareSoft was the one that made Super Mario RPG. So you hear the boss theme from Final Fantasy 4.
Right. I just seen what you had up here because you were still sharing your screen.
Oh yeah, this is kind of the beginning of my research of my next retrospective, which may or may not be Super Mario 64, like I promised at the end of my Mario RPG video.
If you need help on that one, let me know.
Yeah, I just want to look into like how the game was made, and obviously talk about the levels and the stuff, and of course my experiences with Mario 64 and the N64, because I was still a kid. I was 12 when I first played this. So
yeah. All right. But yeah, getting back to talking about music, and specifically with Mario, just about every single Mario game has an amazing soundtrack. Like, I can't think of... Well, I take that back. I don't know if Koji Kondo made this one. I'm sure he did. But the soundtracks that they use for the new Super Mario Brothers games, as we've already talked about, the fact that they reuse it so much, it's not that it's bad, it's just gotten old. You know what I mean?
oh yeah, I've gone sick of it too. I mean, he basically, Ocarina of Time was basically the last game that he did the soundtrack by himself. So like he did all of Ocarina of Time, he did all of Mario 64, Yoshi's Island, The Link to
Wait,
the
didn't he
Past.
do Majora's Mask?
And Star Fox.
Majora's Mask, he got help from what's his name? Toru Minegishi. So they credited him because they reused stuff from Ocarina of Time, but like other tracks that they added, I think were composed by Toru Minegishi. And I think he's worked on like he's worked on other stuff. He's worked on Wind Waker. He's helped with Wind Waker, and then once Wind Waker, they got like 3 other composers. So Wind Waker, they added Hajime Wakai, and they added Kenta Nagata. And I think they kept those 3, and they probably added more people for Twilight Princess and Skyward Sword. And Koji Kondo basically became the sound supervisor and stuff. So like any sound effects or any music, like he was basically, they all go through him and stuff. So if it sounds consistent with everything else, he usually is the one that approves it and stuff. So
Okay.
he's kind of up there. I mean, obviously he's been with the company since 1984. So as long as I've been alive is how long Mr. Kondo has been with the company, and Mr. Miyamoto, he got hired from Nintendo. You know when he got hired from Nintendo or hired
When?
to work for Nintendo? The same time Star Wars came out, the first one,
Really?
1977.
Good Lord.
So he was 4 years in. He was like 2 years in when they, or 2 or 3 years in when they started development of of the original Donkey Kong, the arcade game and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Where they borrowed, I mean, Mario basically comes from a combination of Popeye. The Donkey Kong is basically a combination of Popeye and King Kong, obviously. King Kong, Donkey Kong. There was a very long lawsuit from Universal against Nintendo for using the name, just the word Kong. Just use the word Kong at the end of Donkey Kong was a subject for for a lawsuit and stuff. So that was going on. And I mean, the idea of Mario was based off of, and Donkey Kong. Donkey Kong was also based off of Bluto, the villainous character from Popeye, and of course Popeye was Mario, and Olive Oil was Princess and stuff. So it was kind of the same idea and stuff. I'm sure there were other things that they used, other ideas that they used, but those are the things I think of at the top of my mind. So, but yeah. Kondo's been with the company since '84, so Super Mario Brothers, I think, was the very first game. Well, it was like the very first Mario game that he worked on. He didn't work on Donkey Kong or Mario Brothers. That was someone else. Someone else did those soundtracks.
And when you mean Mario Brothers, you mean the one where you play as Mario in that one fixed location, and it's just you surviving against all the Koopa Troopas?
Yeah, the one that begins with dun 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 dun.
Yes.
Dun 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 dun. You know, Mozart. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Ein Klein, I think is what it's called. Yeah,
So.
that's how it begins. Yeah, so it was really Super Mario Brothers. You know, the Mario that we know. You know, was really his first game. I mean, it does say he worked on like programming and other stuff, sound effects, for like games like Kung Fu, arm wrestling, soccer, Devil World, Punch Out.
Yep.
There's an older Punch Out. I guess there is. 1980. Oh, for the arcade game. There was an older Punch Out for arcade, and that came out in '83.
I want to play that.
Yeah, that's a tough one. So, but like he used a lot of ragtime. Ragtime was one of the big genres of music. Ragtime and jazz for basically crafting the Mario theme, because they wanted to make it because Mario is very athletic. Like he moves, like what makes Mario unique is that he just moves around a lot, and that's kind of how they went with developing for Mario RPG years later and stuff, and how other companies interpret Mario. It's like Mario is like just super duper iconic as far back as like early '90s and stuff.
And I gotta show you guys something else too involving Mr. Miyamoto. Did you know that Shigeru Miyamoto is also a musician?
Yeah, he plays guitar, I believe.
Yep, and I'm about to show a clip of that. In fact, actually, I'm gonna do one difference. I'm gonna show a clip of him on Jimmy Fallon, and he is playing guitar with the Roots band, playing the Super Mario theme. So let me get this pulled up. Bad screen quality, but here we go.
Hey, it's Reggie.
Yep.
My body is ready.
Yep, that's him.
There's Shigeru with the acoustic guitar.
Yep, that's him.
Can you imagine Shigeru Miyamoto, of all people, just doing like a metal cover or something?
I'm sure he'd love to. All right, let me show you something a little different now.
It makes me wonder how much of a hand he had in composition, because I know this is directly credited to Kondo and stuff.
So this is with the Nintendo Big Band Live.
And there's Koji
in
Kondo.
2003. Yep. I don't know what they're saying, but
Donkey Kong! Ping pong.
Ping
So
pong.
let's see if there's another one here.
いやいやいや昔はよく練習したんです。
So yeah, like you were saying, I am sure that Mr. Miyamoto did have some form of influence or input on the music to really all the Nintendo stuff, but
Yeah, well, I mean, he was the
specifically Mario.
boss. I mean, he was basically the boss. So Kondo basically had to follow his lead and stuff. So Kondo would probably come up with an idea, and it was basically Miyamoto that was, had the final seal of approval. So he probably listened to it and said, "Oh, maybe change this, make this maybe a little less, maybe make it more, set up." And because he's a musician, I think he was able to provide good sense of direction for
Right.
Kondo and what he wanted and stuff. So.
Man, we only have 30 minutes left.
We do. So anyways, Green Lantern, if you're still watching, I know I just invited you to be on here with us, but I think we're going to go ahead and bring it in for a closing because John and I both need to go to bed at this point. But yeah, the Mario series. Last question. Obviously. Oh wait, he isn't here. But yeah, the Mario series. Oh, last question. Obviously.
What?
Oh wait, he isn't here.
Hey, what's going on, people?
Yeah, the Mario
Your
series-
video's on.
You have a bad echo.
Really bad. Really bad.
Can you hear me okay?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, cool.
So I can also hear myself.
Yeah.
I can also hear myself.
That should end in a minute.
Maybe
I just
he's
muted the-
manifesting
I just
fake
muted
versions
the-
of us. Manifesting fake versions of us.
Yeah. No, it's called my PC is in the shop, and I have to make do with my tablet.
Hi
I think this is actually my
ho.
first-
Hi ho.
Hi ho.
I don't even have my
Hi ho.
avatar.
Hi ho.
Do you want to have a bad time?
So
Do you want to have a bad time?
All right, this is getting getting out of hand.
Getting out of hand.
Oh, there are two of them.
I don't get it.
I don't get it.
What? The?
Chaos.
I muted everything. The only thing that's on is my tablet.
Did you turn the stream
Did you
off on your
turn the
tablet?
stream off on your tablet?
Oh, haha. I don't have it on there. Oh, wait. Okay. It was on my phone, but it was turned down. I don't know if that would do it.
Are you using headphones?
Are you using headphones?
No.
That's probably it.
That's probably it.
My,
Green Lantern
I feel like the
Green Lantern isn't echoing, but we are.
Yeah, I don't hear an echo, but hang on one second.
All right, I'm gonna test something real quick.
John, what was that noise?
John, what was that noise?
That was me shaking some
BBs.
I hope that wasn't okay. As long as it was that and not something else, you shouldn't even have
There you
access
go.
to that.
That should do it.
Yes, that is much better. So, Green Lantern.
Awesome. Yeah.
Basically, I guess before we go, you want to share a little bit of your history with Mario and your thoughts on it?
I have never beat any of the first three Mario games. Like I never beat Mario 1, 2, or 3, and I always loved everything, the Super Mario and all that. But honestly, I said it in the chat. I'm just gonna be the obstinate one. I always liked the classic feel of the music because it reminded me of like the when games were actually good, when they're actually I would take Super Mario Bros. 3 over honestly a lot of modern games because it was so like I would take Super Mario Bros. 3 mm, maybe over Destiny. And anybody that knows me knows I pretty much all I play right now is Destiny. And it's the fact that that was the first game that you had cards that you could put stuff in, and it was freaking insane. You could load them up like you load up like what 3, 4 cards or whatever, and you could have like a whole ton of loot that you could use. And now it's like that's like everywhere, but back in the day it was. Yeah, wasn't that one of the first games that did that?
I think so.
Did what again?
Yeah. Like made you remember Super Mario Bros. 3 where you had the
Yeah.
cards where you could put stuff on? Yeah. That
Flip what on?
that the put your you have your leaf, your fire flower, your flute, your
Yeah.
mushrooms, or whatever. Basically,
Yeah.
have like a whole stash of stuff you could use whenever
Oh yeah,
you needed
yeah.
to.
You get there's like a sleeve. Yeah. You have like a little
Yeah.
sleeve underneath. You go to the Toad
Mhm.
house and it goes. Dun dun dun
Mhm.
dun 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 dun. They play that theme,
Yep.
and you go into
Oh my
you pick
gosh.
three. You pick the box that. You pick up one of
Yep.
3 boxes, and you might get a leaf, you might get a fire flower, you might get a mushroom. I always hated getting the
Yeah.
mushrooms. I hate getting the mushrooms. Just like
Mm.
the generic, your generic power up that's your first level power up you get. So you always get the mushroom first, and then you get the next level up, which is either the fire flower or the leaf, which makes you the
Yep.
raccoon. Now, Mario 3,
I think it's awesome.
in the original Mario 3 that came out in Japan, if you got hit as the Leaf Mario or Fire Flower Mario, you went right back to being Small Mario. Whereas here in America, Mario 3, if you got hit as a raccoon, you just turn into Super Mario or Big Mario. So that was always
Yeah.
nice because the original Mario game was not like that at all. If you were Fire Mario and you got hit, you were back to Little Mario.
Yeah. Yeah, it was like I honestly liked the more classic Mario games even more than I played. What was it? Super Mario Galaxy 2, I think it was,
Mhm.
and the concept was cool, but honestly, I like the more classic side-scrolling better. I like the more like classic approach, and if I had to say my favorite Mario game, it would uh, uh,
Probably be Super Mario World.
it would be really no, actually, I mean that's in my top 5, but I would honestly have to go with, and it's a very hard choice because I love Super Mario Bros. 3. I'd have to say Super Mario Maker. I'd have to say Super Mario Maker because I
Yeah,
love
Mario Maker
creating
was
levels.
fine. Mario
Mhm.
Maker was fine. It gave a nice
Oh.
little, nice little touch on the classic style. You get to play new levels in that style. I mean, I've made Mario 3 levels. I made Mario classic original Mario Brothers levels. Mario
No,
World, Mario 3 and stuff.
it's
I thought they were gonna add like Mario 2, just like add Mario 2 for the hell of it. And they didn't do that for the Switch one.
They add the Mario 2.
I heard
power-up,
mine.
What's up?
Didn't they add the Mario 2 power up?
They did.
There was
They,
really no Mario 2 power up. You basically all you do is run around, you pick up vegetables, and you throw them. But you still, if you got hit, you would turn into small Mario. So if you were, so you had like Zelda, there was like a little life meter in the corner and stuff. So you only had 2 health in the beginning of the level. And if you get the bottle and you throw it somewhere, if you find the bottle, there's usually 2 of them per level. If you find the bottle and throw and go into the nether world and stuff, and you see a mushroom there, you pick it up, you get an extra, heart or life container, not heart container like in Zelda, but a life container, and it would only last for that level. So in the next level, you go back to 2, and then you'd have to find the mushroom in wherever it was located in that level. So you had to repeat that. Da 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 da. That's the sound you'd make when you pick up the mushroom. I love you. What do you guys think of the Mario 2 thing, by the way? I love the Mario 2 theme. That was the one that they played a lot in the Mario Brothers cartoon, the Mario Super Show, quite a bit. They used a lot of Mario 2 assets, quite a bit.
Yes, they did. I like that. I like that song. I had just never really gotten into Mario 2. I played it probably once my entire life.
Oh wow!
Oh my gosh, that's awful.
Okay.
I think you have to go. I think you have to go back home and rethink your life.
I want to go home and rethink my life.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I would love to play it. I just haven't gotten around to it.
Yeah. I'd have to say Super Mario Maker was my favorite by like an inch, just because I love creating stuff and I like making stuff for that. I mean, that's when I was growing up. I always liked playing with Legos, and I still like playing with Legos. And I think it was because you could mix and match all the different stuff, and you could basically create whatever your imagination could come up with. And that's, I think, why that would have to be my number one.
All right, well, guys, real quick, hello to Everest Productions. It says, "Hello, Nintendo crew." That actually has a nice ring to it, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
I mean, I told him earlier that we were going to be doing this. So
maybe we might do something with that at some point. Because as fun as doing live streams on this channel are of games, maybe I might do something else, and maybe that might make a good name. So
I mean, you and I are friends on the Switch, so
we are.
knows?
So
I need
So
to
we
get
will,
y'all friends.
we will see what happens with that. But we're going to go ahead and shut it down for tonight. Thank you here at the end for joining us, Green Lantern, and I hope you get your computer fixed as soon as possible.
Yeah, that makes two of us.
Yep. So,
Yeah.
so real quick before we go, I will remind you guys that tomorrow on the main channel, I will be back with my friend Tyler from work, our resident Harry Potter expert, and we're going to be going over Fantastic Beasts 2, The Crimes of Grindelwald. And then, of course, the day after that is Tuesday Night Trek. We're going to be going episodes 6 through 10 of TNG Season 3. We'll be getting into the Mortis arc soon of Animation Friday. Get those episodes watched, John, as soon as you can.
I will.
There's just 3 this time, I promise.
I know.
And then, yeah, some gaming streams sprinkled in throughout. And if I find something worth making a pre-recorded video on, of course, I will. Anything going on with y'all's channels?
Well, I think I'm going to be on the show. No one's ever heard of it. It's called Tuesday Night Trek. You know, some guy named Paul is running it, so I have to watch
Is that
5
about
episodes.
Is that about mountain hiking?
No, it's about smoking. It's about Tolkien actually. It's about smoking rings and drinking beer and eating 11sies. That's what it is. In the future. So
Of course.
So I'm doing Tuesday Night Trek, and I think on Thursday I'm going to do a stream with a few people talking about the movie Forbidden Planet, which is to me the ultimate pre-Star Trek. So I don't know if you watched it yet, Paul.
Which one?
Forbidden Planet.
Oh no, that's something me and Brandon have been meaning to do for months now, but time just got away from us, and I still would like to.
Would you want to watch it and join the stream on Thursday?
Ooh.
I'd love to hear. I'd love to hear.
If I can find a way to watch it for free, because last I saw, you have to actually rent it on Amazon.
Okay.
But I will do my absolute best.
So I'm actually looking for a panel to talk about it. So I got one panelist, Baron Orman Tag, has seen the movie, so he's someone that I can bring on and stuff. I'm trying to see if I can find another person and stuff. But yeah, that movie was the original Star Trek. It was pre-Star, like I said, it was pre-Star Trek. So a lot of visual ideas you see in other science fiction. Like it was that influential. But here's the thing: I didn't see it until a few years ago. I never heard of the movie. We never owned it. No one I knew ever talked about it.
Right.
So, but yeah, that's my next science fiction thing. I already have a review out. That was one of the first reviews I ever did on my channel and stuff. And so, yeah, I just needed to put in the connection with Star Trek. That was the main goal of the video.
Understandable. All right, well, guys, I think that's going to do it for us tonight. Sorry for the somewhat low energy stream tonight. Honestly, I haven't been sleeping very good. That's kind of why we're ending this now, so I can get some sleep. But other than that, we hope you guys enjoyed this. Make sure to hit like and subscribe if you haven't already. And just remember, everyone, gaming is for everyone. See you guys later. Oh, wait, wrong clip. I was about to play Tuesday Night Trek over that. Here, this kind of sums up how I feel right now.
I know this ship like the back of my hand.